Okay, so my microphone was not working perfectly. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of talk you through this because I think it's better than me trying to uh, start over and or trying to just talk about what I did. So I'm trying to create a flag here. Now I created as you can see, a plane, and the one above is sort of a practice run, if you will. So, at any rate, I created the flag, and the first thing I want to do is give it kind of a stiff point. Now, the first thing, you see those purple dots on the left of the test flag, if you will. I'm going to put the ones on the top of this because this is going to go into, the whole point of this is I want to make a Japanese flag to go into the dojo. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to select the top row with a box select. Now I already had given it the fabric tag or the material tag. So we know it's a fabric. That's the tag that you tell it that it is a fabric. And I am selecting these dots because what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze them so that it will act like it has a rod on top. And there you go. There is a button I have to press. I have to cleaning up the ones that are no good, that we don't want. I just want the top row. Just like on the other one, I just wanted the side. And what I'm going to do, once I got that, is I'm going to go back to the fabric tag. And in the dresser, there's freeze. I'm going to freeze that. And there you go. So now I have a flag. Now, of course, I want to texture it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create I'm going to go in and the first thing I have to do, you can see, doesn't do anything because it's just hanging down. And what I need to do here, and I think I probably, yes, I got my thing. And I don't want to switch into paint just yet. Let me, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a texture. Okay, so now I am going to, create that texture. And I should be in, let's see, so I'm going to create a new material. And I used a very good Maxon tutorial to go over this. And I want it to be, you have to create a texture. And create a new texture here. And that I want to be white because obviously that's my background color. And there you go. I am creating the texture. So once I have my texture, then then the fun begins. Then we go into the paint mode. But here's my texture. I am going to place it on my object. And I think I didn't get it quite the right color here. So what I'm going to do, I think I ended up fixing it. Oh, I'm going to put it on the bottom. And I'm gonna changing the color. It's not pure enough white because I don't want gray, I want white. And now I think I have white, and that should now we got it white. Now what we're going to do is paint on it. In order to paint on it, I have to hit the X right there, and then I have to create a layer. So I'm going to add a new layer to this, and that's going to be the layer I paint on. So the next thing I have to do is I'm going to go to the brush, and I'm going to set the color and the size of the brush I want. And so let's see. I'm kind of, okay, we got that good. We don't want to change. I tried to change that a little bit, and I realized that was wrong. That's not what I wanted, so I went back. And then I went over to the brush. So here's the brush, and on color, now I'm going to set it to the red. And we got our red. That's the red we want. And once we have the red, then we can actually start painting a little circle. I want a little bit bigger. And we're going to start by painting our circle. Well, it's going to sort of look like a Japanese flag. I don't know if it's going to quite... it's not going to be perfect. The good thing is the Japanese flag's real easy. American flag's a little harder because we got more stuff in there. This is quite simple, but it makes the point. And, you know, it represents their country, and everyone knows. So, now we have our flag, and I think at that point I want to show you the textures, and I think I messed around a little bit trying to figure out. I'm still looking around here. And you can see up there, there is 2 different options. You can see on the top of the viewport, there is so it's sort of kind of hidden in there a little bit. And now we have our flag, and we're going to export it as an FBX. And the key thing is to keep the material, and it will keep the materials. So make sure you do only selecting because you only want that flag. And you have to check everything, making sure it's selection only, making sure it's getting the materials. We don't need animation because we're not doing any animation with this. This is going to just be something that's going to be a decoration, if you will. And And it's coming up, and you'll see. It was a little confusing well, you'll see when I'm imported, I can't exactly see it immediately. And that 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 was a little confusing. So now I got my gym and my character. I go to import it, and you'll see I won't see anything. And I'm looking around here, and so here we go. No, I think it's down wrong one. I'm going to go cancel that and go to the right location, which is this plus. I want to create a new folder because I want to keep it separate. That's kind of what you want these things. You want to keep yourself organized in that way. And then I'm going to import my flag. Now, one thing I learned, with cinema, if you create a project from an FBX, the FBX should stay in the same directory or you're not going to see it. So I'm checking, and I'm importing it. And you can see I had to rename something. So what I had to do here, it took care of it, but you can see I got everything in. I'm going to close that and try to add it to the project. And there you go. And now I'm back. I have my flag, and I'm playing around trying to see. What I decided to do is move the flag outside and then play with it. And because at this point, we have it imported, I can't find it, and I realized it's probably there. It's just because when I tried to bring the FBX in I tried to play around and see what would happen if I made a project with the FBX, and I noticed it was lying flat. Well, if it's lying flat, you're not going to see it. So I brought it outside, and as you can see, once I rotated it, you indeed have the flag. Now, obviously, it's a bit big, so there's going to be some work I have to do on that there, but we have our flag, and we have our flag that we made in Cinema 4D. We have it in Unreal Engine, and I can now make it at the appropriate size and then bring it back into Unreal. I can bring it inside into the gym and use it as a decoration. So you see, straightening it out. Is it a perfect Japanese flag? No, but we'll take it. But this was a very good exercise in terms of learning about materials. About fabric. About the UV painting that is already provided for you in Unreal. In Cinema 4D. So anyway, that is going to be it. And thank you for watching. Let's go over again what we learned. So we created a fabric. We put a little stiffness on top, like there's a pole. We then brought it into paint. Well, we first had to texture it, and just put a plain old texture that would be our background. We brought it into paint. We had to click that little X to make it load it in, and then we had to create a new layer. go to the brush and then do that brush. And then we were able to paint it, set it the right size, color, brought it into Unreal. And then once we brought it into Unreal, we had we had to first figure out that it was where it was exactly. And then we have our flag. So thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.